Hello everybody and welcome back to Mining Modern. I'm Corbin Hostler and this week we have a pretty fun one here. This is Dimir Mill, Mission Briefing Mill, bringing it back. I've played the deck in the past, but Mission Briefing from Guilds of Ravnica is getting an all new life. Now the cool part of Mission Briefing is that when you play it, you get to choose a spell in your graveyard that you're going to cast. But you can also do alternate costs. So Archive Trap, which of course mills 13, and you can cast for free if your opponent searched their deck this turn, all of a sudden you can cast that from your graveyard. So that is an extremely powerful interaction. Mission Briefing did a ton for this deck. And the build of the deck I'm running here, I believe Seth Manfield posted this list in his article that went up last Friday. You should go check it out. But this was the latest version to do well online. So this is the one that I'm rolling with. And this build has a lot more interaction. You can really lean on Mission Briefing to change the way your deck functions a little bit and just, play a different ball game, namely one where you don't have to run some of the clunky 3-mana discard spells and stuff like that, or, breaking, entering, or just some of the weaker ones. You just played the best mill cards, and that's it. So now we see our opponent. I don't know what exactly they're on here. Grixis something. But Surgical might... I guess there's a shadow involved, so that's not good for us. But to say, we also have this Surgical, though, to hit something from their graveyard. Honestly, I might just hit the Temur Battle Rage. It seems like the thing that will most kill me through this Ensnaring Bridge. Yeah, as long as my opponent can't give their creature double strike, seems like they're going to have a more difficult time finishing us off. The thing is, I don't think I need to do it yet, so I think I can untap, play the Darkslick Shores. That's not even a bad draw, but I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to play the second Mesmeric Orb, so we're going to mill them out a little faster here. Then I'm going to go for the Surgical. Then I'm going to go for the Ensnaring Bridge next turn. Now, I guess if we get punished by a discard spell, well, you know what? That is a reasonable thing that might happen. This might have been a misplay, but I guess we're going to find out. Okay, so with that in mind, they don't have any discard spells in their graveyard, at least, so maybe that just means they're slightly less likely to have them in the deck. That or they're just all in their hand. All right, let's see. Well, no, they do have the Thoughtseizes there. Oh, this might not be... I think I might have punted this one here. My opponent has 4 Thoughtseizes, but only 1 Inquisition in their deck, so yeah, we're gonna see. We're gonna see how that one works out here for us. I'm gonna be a little annoyed if I lost this game for myself. I won't lie, because I feel like it's a good matchup for us for the most part. I mean, maybe it's not even a good matchup. They can trip apart our hand, but this Ensnaring Bridge is certainly very good. So as long as we don't get Inquisitioned here, yeah, this is great. I will happily take this damage. All right, beautiful. I think we're gonna catch a break, maybe. Going to Dismember to pay the life. Oh, Dismember is a combat trick. All right, I like that. Actually, I should have seen my opponent's hand from the Surgical, but I guess I wasn't paying attention. I really didn't see it pop up. I'm sure you're yelling at me through the computer. I'm sorry. Well, now we're going to find out regardless here. This is good for getting a card out of our hand as well as theirs, for what it's worth. Who knows? We might actually... Oh, look at this. Yeah, we actually even get to hit a Stubborn Denial. So that was actually super key. May not even have realized it at the time, but getting that Stubborn Denial out of their hand so that we can resolve this Ensnaring Bridge, hopefully win the game, was actually just a giant play for us there. So our opponent has many fewer cards in their library than we do. They have a bunch of creatures. They can't... I mean, the Thoughtseize doesn't matter. They're going to take our Collective Brutality out of our hand and leave us with 1. So they can get in with the tokens right now, and that's it. My opponent, if they waited on that Thoughtseize, could have actually attacked for 1 more there with the Pyromancer, but... Yeah, Field of Ruin, huh? Well, that does mean the tokens get to get in for another turn, which is, a little concerning. Plus, I suppose we still haven't... We haven't actually found any more... we've played this game, and I talked about how our deck has more interaction, but we both haven't found a ton of interaction... nor have we found any more mill cards here. So Our opponent taking themselves all the way down to 1, sure. Now, we are getting them pretty hard here. They're down to 14, but they have 3 tokens in play. You know, we're legitimately in trouble here. But they don't attack. Okay. Because I'm going to go ahead and try to get this watery grave here. They might just not have anything for 1. But also we can make our draw slightly more likely to give us some gas. Well, so much for that plan, I suppose. Alright, well, I guess our opponent didn't want to get milled out. That's why they didn't attack there. But I think they were supposed to. They are going to come in now. So they're going to mill 6 on their turn. Yeah, this is it. This might be the game here. Fingers crossed. Alright, Visions of Beyond, I'll take it. This will draw us 3. This has got to get us there, right? But it could get Stubborn Denialed or something. That would be pretty bad for us. No, it worked. Okay. Alright, I like what we've got going on. Let's go with the Hedron Crab. Play the Field of Ruin. Target them. Oh, I don't have any more lands to get with the Field of Ruin, though. Well, alright, my opponent's going to give it to me anyways. Alright, that works. We did it. That was actually very scary close. So I want the bridges for sure. I mean, the brutalities are fine. The fatal pushes are good. Actually, all of this is just fine. I'm going to cut 1 surgical there. I'm going to cut a Crypt Incursion. I don't hate having a 1 for the life gain, so we don't randomly get burned out or whatever, but we don't need too much. Question is if I want Set Adrift for possible late line shenanigans, or if I just want fatal pushes. I honestly probably just want this fatal push. The Murderous Cut seems fine. It's another fatal push, essentially. But actually, it should just, well, maybe not. Murderous Cut can get Gurmag, so this is actually probably better. Fatal push cannot get Gurmag Angler. The brutalities are the other thing. If I cut a brutality for a damnation here, I can get behind this. Our opponent showed us Pyromancer. Seems like them attacking us with tokens. Could be one of the scarier things we might have to worry about. I'm a big fan of Mill in Modern, I won't lie. I liked it when Fraying Sanity came out, and that provided a new build of the deck to play. And to be honest, I really liked that one. I thought it was cool. It's unfortunate that, you know, the format has sped up so much that you can't really get away with playing a 3-mana enchantment anymore that does nothing like that. But, no, I mean, this deck still has a lot going on for it, this build as well. So, I'm definitely into this. We've got 3 Visions of Beyond and Mesmeric Orb. My opponent does not have a discard spell. Also nice. And they went 1 top, 1 bottom. Okay. Alright, there's a bridge. Now, I don't know how much hope I have for actually resolving the bridge, given our opponent's, you know, grip full of discard, I'm sure. But this is still not bad for us. Definitely going to be leaning on the bridge this game. In fact, it might even be better to cycle these for 1 now while I can, long before anything hits 20, and they draw 3, because I just wanted this Ensnaring Bridge to actually stop creatures from attacking me. Alright, I see no reason not to just try to get the Mesmeric Orb down here. It might work, it might not, but yeah, that's fine, really, either way. Okay, well, we've been mana tithed or whatever here. Fair enough, I suppose. Alright, that's fine. That means our opponent did nothing. They're just digging. If only I'd sideboarded into Lightning Bolts. Alright, we gotta try again here. Archive Trap, huh? I like that. I guess I go for the bridge here, because if they counter it, it likely means they're going to fetch, which means I can... Okay, well, it's just going to resolve. That's nice, too. Alright, so I need to make sure I have a stop here so I can get this off. What I was thinking is if my opponent did counter the bridge, at least I would likely get to counter my Archive Trap. I'm sorry, get to play my Archive Trap without getting it countered. Hey, look at that, we actually hit him with it, too. Well, now these do draw us 3 cards, so I guess we're into that into that hole. Alright, our bridge is going to die anyways. Fair enough. Oh, and I get a I have to get to discard. I have to discard. I guess I'll just throw away this Flooded Strand. Well, I guess if we're not locked under our own bridge, I'm happy to draw 3 off of these. We might, you know, our opponent, granted, they can turn the corner, you know, in literally the split of a second here with their deck, but, you know, we also might be able to just mill them out here pretty quick before they find a threat that really destroys us. All right, well, I'm going to take a shot here. I'm going to draw 3. Well, I'm going to attempt to draw 3. Oh, man. The problem is I just want to push this thing, but it requires me to do so many things I don't want to do. I'm going to Visions of Beyond, and if my opponent responds by cracking the Spell Bomb, which they didn't. Great. Okay, so now we're just set. Now I can just Fatal Push the Young Pyro anyway. I get to just pass the turn. I can just Visions. I might as well just Visions of Beyond now. Although I suppose I'm not doing anything with it. I'll represent whatever we're representing. Yeah, I think my opponent should have popped the Nihil Spellbomb there in response to that Visions of Beyond. Because it's not like we do need our graveyard a little with Mission Briefing, but yeah, they're going to do it now. It's just, you just missed the boat already. You let us Ancestral Recall. And this one will just cycle, fair enough. Alright, so let's go ahead and glimpse our opponent. Get them down to 18 in their library here, hopefully. It is also kind of funny, we made them Nihil Spellbomb their own graveyard. I like it, our opponent's trying to mill us back here. Alright, we're just going to run out this Mesmeric Orb. Hopefully it doesn't get Thought Scoured, or what do you... Oh, Ceremonious Rejection. Can't do anything about that anyways. Okay, well... I mean, despite all of that, we actually are now out of gas. Our opponent's at 16 cards in library. And it looks like they might have found a threat here. Yeah, it's a Gurmag Angler. We flooded out kind of hard. And we're going to keep doing it, I guess. Wow, that's kind of rough. I won't lie, I kind of thought we had this game locked up, but now... I mean, I don't know. We're just getting... We've drawn very poorly these last couple draws. Alright, Archive Trap is good. Archive Trap is very good. It's not enough on its own to win the game. Our opponent's at 14, but it's going to be very close here. So I'm going to go ahead and Field of Ruin them now. I don't think this matters too much. I'll hit the Watery Grave. Hopefully my opponent has to search. And they did search. Okay, we got a break there. Maybe anyways. Our opponent did choose to search, which means they are down to 13 cards in their library. And now we're going to play this for free and cross our fingers. Now, oh my gosh, it worked! We did it! I was so concerned there. Let's see what our opponent's got. There, we got there. Took it down, Mission Briefing Mill. That game was close. If my opponent had found a Death Shadow, we might have been in trouble. Instead, we were able to get there with that clutch Archive Trap. Mill out our opponent's last 13. They would have got another turn if they hadn't searched off the Field of Ruin. It makes them... Yeah, I'm pretty sure they can fail to find. I don't know. I think so. Anyway, we got there. That was an awesome match, everybody. I'm Corbin Hostler. This is Mighty Modern. Thanks for watching. Hey, everybody. Here we go with some more mill action. More Mission Briefing Mill, although no Mission Briefings to be had in this one here. Our opponent on some sort of graveyard deck, I guess. So we'll see how this works out. Maybe milling them might be a little dangerous. We will see. But yeah, so something I forgot to mention in the first video. I'm recording in advance, so I didn't think about it. Merry Christmas. You know, happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, all that, whichever is your thing. Enjoy the holidays, time with family, all that good stuff. I know I personally have, you know, fun stuff planned. I've got a 3-year-old, and it's first Christmas. He's really going to be old enough to remember. Pretty excited about that. Oh my gosh, this is all terrifying. I guess I hit the looting. But yeah, and then I've got a vacation planned after that with the family. So looking forward to it. Of course, still have all the content out for you all here. TCGplayer is great, letting me work in advance to get stuff out. So that actually worked out very, very well for us in just so many ways. All right, so our opponent, Yeah, unfortunately, we're not doing anything. But our opponent did not have a second land, and they just couldn't do anything. So, it was interesting. All right, I'm sorry. I was reading and thinking there. What do we want to do here? I mean, I can brutality, I guess, just to try to strip something. Problem, yeah, I'll just, I'll make them discard a card. Of course, we see what they have. Might as well get rid of the, honestly, probably, I guess, the stupid creeping chill of all things here. I don't know. Whatever. Maybe I should have just drained life to them. But the thing is, the big one here is going to be the Crypt Incursion. So if our opponent goes to have a big mill turn or something next turn, we can exile all the creature cards from their graveyard. Now, the big problem for us is that we have no way to mill them right now. You know, the Archive Trap is fine, but and we're going to, you know, get to fire it off here, but this is going to be very, very slow, very dangerous for us. Now, our opponent's just going for the Conflagrate play. Well, there's something. This might be the turn I want to keep up. Maybe not. Maybe this... Well, milling them seems equally dangerous. That's the problem against Dredge, right? It's actually just terrifying. I don't know. Playing the mill deck against Dredge, not where you want to be necessarily, but I am confident there's a way to victory here. I haven't figured out exactly how we're going to do it yet, but we're going to figure it out. I think it involves just not taking damage for long enough that, you know, once they do start dealing us damage and milling cards, we can at least end the game fast enough. So what I'm considering doing here is with this landfall trigger on the stack, exiling the creature cards from their graveyard, which gets their dredgers. And they do have life from the loam in hand, but it gets the dredgers and it keeps those from coming back. So, but I can also go ahead and do this first. I can go ahead and hit them with the Archive Trap for 13 here, because they've already searched their library this turn. Yeah, well, this is fine. So we're going to let Narcomoeba go on the stack, and then we're going to exile everything. So this is actually pretty good for us because we're going to get this Narcomoeba not come back into play. We're going to get multiple Blood Gas. There's a Stinkweed Imp in there. I mean, this is honestly probably as good as we're going to do here. You know, we got through some of our opponents. There's an Amalgam. You know, if we can exile enough of their creatures here to keep our life total afloat long enough, you know, then maybe we can get there with Glimpse the Unthinkable and so on. And look at that, we just did it. Main deck Graveyard Hate. Who knew it was pretty good? Not even complete Graveyard Hate, but hey, we're at 38 life. It's pretty good against Creep and Chill. Took it down against Dredge. All right, game 2, huh? Extirpates, please. Damnations, Crypt Incursions, Bridge. I love everything I'm seeing here. I like this a lot. All right, these brutalities, I honestly don't really need that much. We even have the Surgicals in the main deck. We're just so well set up for this. I'm going to cut a Mesmeric Orb here, and I'm going to cut the Inquisitions, I guess. Well, I should cut the Fatal Pushes before I do that. All right, so let's see what I can get back here. Probably just this Orb. Yeah, I mean, I think this might be fine. The thing is, our opponent didn't even see Ensnaring Bridge, so they don't even know what they have to worry about here. But we just get to run so much Graveyard Hate. That said, this hand has no colored mana, or it'd be extremely close. It honestly is close anyways, because we get to play the Mesmeric Orb. But if we just find one black source, we'd cast Extirpate. And we even have Damnation for later to clean up. So this is tempting, but I think we just need lands. Wow, that is very bad. Lands, but no hate. I'm going to mulligan. Oh my gosh, well. Guess we can't. We're back to where we started here. There's a blue source. I don't know. I mean, we get a Field of Ruin to get our basic swamp, but we're going to be so far behind by then as our opponent, you know, leads off on a Shriekhorn here. I would say that's the only problem we're going to face. Crypt Incursion's great, but depending on how our opponent's, you know, dredging here goes, it might be too slow because it's going to be turn 4 without drawing a black source before we can actually play it. So our opponent in their upkeep hit the trifecta, or not the trifecta, I guess that's not a thing. the duo here, the Guilds of Ravnica duo, the Narcomoeba Creeping Chill, but not a Dredger, so I'd say that's pretty important for us. We're really just hoping to get lucky here and hit a Black Source and get a pull off this Crypt Incursion. Basically similar to what we did in game 1. I would say that's our most likely path to victory right now. If my opponent just fetches now, I'm actually not even gonna run this Archive Trap out there. Alright. We are a long way from doing anything, but you know what? Ensnaring Bridge does at least you know, slow things down a little bit later on. It gives us an alternate path to victory. You know, maybe not a great one, because once we're low enough, the Conflict Rate will finish us off. But all right, that was a big turn. We dodged we dodged a Dredger there. Well, I guess it remains to be seen. All right, so we dodged a Dredger. That was good. So our opponent, they've hit 2 Creeping Chills. We're at 14. That card's very stupid, by the way. I'm going to go down to 13 here, but we're not dead quite yet. There are no Dredgers in the graveyard. And I mean, heck, the Shriekhorn's even had counters, and this one's about to be. So, you know, I'm not going to say crisis averted here, but we haven't just gotten run over, as Dredge can sometimes do. So I'd say, you know, given that we mulligan to 5 here, things are looking about as good as they could. Oh no, hugs, huh? Cathartic Reunion, discarding Prized Amalgam. I guess it's time. Black Source, please. Come on, game. Is it just so bad? I have to just pass. This is just so unfortunate. If we'd hit a Black Source here, we'd actually just be in the perfect position. Honestly, we might still even get lucky. Depending on what they hit here, we actually might catch a break. Oh no, they hit a Stinkweed Imp. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Things were looking so good for us up until that point. I guess we're still not dead here. If I just had more blue mana, this would be just completely different. Well, you know what? Let's see how far my opponent mills himself here. Maybe they're just going to kill themselves. They're down to 20 cards in their library. And the Amalgams are coming back. So we basically have to figure out how to kill them this turn. I can't do anything to cast Crypt Incursion. Although I guess I can Crypt Incursion next turn just to gain a bunch of life. Alright, so I'd say this is the question right now. I can Field of Ruin to get black mana. I can play the Archive Trap here. Get him down to 7 cards in the library. And then I guess try to go from there. I guess that's our best plan now that we're in the end step. May as well just go for it. Now we can, this should amount to actual land destruction too. Alright, so do I get the swamp here? If I get the island, I can cast Mission Briefing, but they won't be searching through their deck, so that doesn't seem to do as much good. So I just have to get the swamp and try to gain enough life to not die. Also, hitting another Field of Ruin is very good. In fact, that might be enough. Now, can I Field of Ruin for lethal? I think I can get double blue and do it now. Wow, what a game. I think this works, by the way, because it's going to kill them, but they have to search no matter what. I can go get the island. I can now play... Yeah, I called it at the beginning, right? Mission Briefing just changes the way Modern works. I love it. Choose our Archive Trap here. And go ahead and Archive Trap our opponent for 0. Mill them out the turn before we die to Dredge Although I guess we are going to get hit by a couple creeping chills here. What a game! What a match that was! We did it. We took it down. Somehow the mill deck doing what the dredge deck wants for it. I did all the work for them, but we won anyways. What an incredible match! That was awesome. There you go, everybody. The power of mission briefing. Mission briefing mill. That was a lot of fun. All right, more mission briefing mill here, and this is an interesting hand. I mean, look at this. We can play 6 of the 7 cards in our hand, but it is a 1-lander on the draw. I'm going to give it a shot because there's a lot of worlds in which our hand is just, you know, kind of insane here. So we didn't get there right away, but against the basic planes, we'll see what we're up against at least. You know, and maybe I should lead with the Hedron Crab here, but if I don't have a land drop, that doesn't seem to matter too much. All right, so it's a Death and Taxes type list. You know, Eldrazi in taxes, whatever. White blink value. That's good. This actually feels like a pretty reasonable matchup for us. So maybe like a hero, like a champion, like a true master of the heart of the cards. I'll just draw a land here. Well, get what you wish for, I guess. But I will take that. That is a land drop. It is a colored source. And heck, it even triggers this Hedron Crab. So we are now off to the races with the Hedron Crab milling. Also, for what it's worth, we know it's in our opponent's hand. So if they mill a Resto Angel or a Gideon, we can just take the other one. So I'm going to put the Crypt Incursion underneath the Shelldock Isle here. Yeah, if at any point in the next, you know, I guess turn and a half here, whatever, before they get to their 4th turn, if we mill a Restoration Angel or a Gideon, we can run a Surgical Extraction on it and keep them from ever using it. In fact, we might even be able to hit more than that depending on what we mill here. Turns out we didn't mill much. Our opponent could also Ghost Quarter our Shelldock Isle. That's a thing that could happen. I don't necessarily expect it to. At least not yet. Their hand is very slow, and that's good for us. So there's an incredibly late vial there. Now let's see if we hit a land drop. Not exactly. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and play out the Mesmeric Orb here. I'm going to put a stop on their draw step. We can at least mill one more here to see what we hit before we start firing off the Surgicals. Anything that helps power up the Visions of Beyond is also a you know, pretty good thing to do here. We can slowly work our way up to 20, although you know, I probably will end up just having to burn it next turn. All right, so I may as well let them go to their. Are we in the draw step? We're in the upkeep right now. All right, so I got to stop on their draw step here. I can hit the Blade Splicer or the Thraben Inspector. You know, the Splicer. I don't know. I guess the Thraben Inspector is the one to hit, or I hit nothing at all. I'm just gonna lean towards nothing at all. There's really no reason to do myself any damage here. Let my opponent have their Gideon, and we're just gonna have to try to kill them before we die to Gideon, which easier said than done. I know. We're gonna need to hit a land here. Although for what it's worth, you know, now our Mesmeric Orb is doing its thing. They're gonna have plenty to untap. Well, we milled non-lands and drew a land, so I can push something. I'm certainly going to do that. First thing I should do here is probably just fire off the Visions of Beyond. See if we can just hit a land drop this turn. That's all I really want. You know, we can draw a Crypt Incursion and stuff. We have a lot of ways to... Well, okay. We have a lot of ways to last a very long time against that Gideon. I might even just have to fire off another one, to be honest. I think I just have to try to find land drops. I don't think I can win without land drops. All right, there we go. That was pretty nice. Second Splicer, so nothing too scary there. I have Fatal Push Up for our opponent's turn. I have Surgical if I need it. We get a mill a bunch here from the... Get a mill a bunch from the Mesmeric Orb and see what we're up against. So, honestly, there's not even anything there I want to hit with the Surgical. So, you know, I could just start taking good draws out of their deck, but not, and that is what I'll do in the end step here, but I'm not going to pay life or anything like that if I don't have to. I also might just Fatal Push this Knight Ally to survive a little longer. Yep, this comes in. That makes sense. I'm just going to Fatal Push this thing. There's no reason not to. It saves us the damage. In fact, it kind of makes a big difference because going to 12 is far against a 5/5 is far different than going to 10. So I think that this play is probably our best here. Also means I really don't want to pay 2 life for the surgicals if I can help it. We need to find a nice mill card here. Get 8 more into our opponent's graveyard. Really, if they would just search their library so I could fire off this archive trap, that's what I want. I haven't had that opportunity yet. My opponent's thinking this through, and they decide to do nothing, huh? Okay. I mean, there's a real cost to tapping your permanents, so... Alright, give us a land. Oh my gosh, Fatal Push is not a land. Alright, so this needs to get down to 20 or fewer cards in it for this to work, at which point we Encrypt Incursion gain a bunch of life back, which seems important. But gosh, I'm just legitimately doing nothing right here, and honestly, I think that means I have Divisions Beyond again. Because our opponent's not actually getting any closer to any of the conditions on these things, so we just have to go find something. You know, we have to make something out of something here, and a land drop's not bad. 8 mills. Yeah, I mean, the land drop actually, there's a fair amount of value in that. It means we're one closer to... there's another creature. We're one closer to actually just casting Archive Trap and milling our opponent for 13 that way. It also means that, hey, we're one closer, or 3 cards closer to the Shelldock Isle casting Crypt Incursion. Now, I don't think we're going to get to do that. I think our opponent's going to end up ghost quartering us before that, but at least presents a threat. But I mean, meanwhile, my opponents are only going to mill, as it currently stands, 1, but we know they have this Resto Angel, and we know... Actually, I can do something about it, and this is going to be kind of sweet. Okay, so we'll let my opponent mill some stuff here. And they actually almost even did us a favor by milling a whole bunch of creatures. So it could work. The Tech Edge, I mean, we're just never going to... Okay, so here is the one cool thing we're going to get to do this game. I don't know that I'm going to win, but I am going to do this. I'm going to return Obero, Palace in the Clouds, to its hand, triggering Revolt on my Fatal Push, so I can Revolt Fatal Push the Restoration Angel to death. I love it. And we get to take it out. Look at that. All right, so it's good. Again, that's huge because it preserves, one more turn for us to, I guess we're basically hoping to draw our other Crypt Incursion or a Mission Briefing or something like that. Does our opponent have a Flicker Wisp here? For what it's worth, there was not a Flicker Wisp in their graveyard because I could have responded to that by hitting Flicker Wisp in the graveyard and the one in the hand, but they didn't have one in their hand. Or, I'm sorry, in their graveyard for us to do that. Well, we take the 5 still. But it buys us another turn, and you know what? Next turn, we're only taking 6. We can chump block with the Hedron Crab. We get another land drop with the Obero. And we got a little something cooking here. Not a lot of something, I grant you that, but a little bit of something. Zresto is going to come back, and it's going to flicker the Flicker Wisp if they really want. I don't think that... I mean, that is what they want to do. I guess now you can exile our Hedron Crab forever. That would be the play. Oh, in fact, that's very good. I mean, Hedron Crab means it comes back on our turn. It doesn't change the math any, at least from what I can tell. It denies us a land drop of milling them with the Obero, though. So that is good value. And here, of course, comes the Ghost Quarter. We knew it was coming. If we'd hit that Mission Briefing so we could cast Crypt Incursion. As it stands now, we're in quite a bit of trouble, I would say. In fact, we are... I mean, it's theoretically not lethal. Although I'm not going to be able to actually crack the Flooded Stream. We're taking 6 in the air, so probably shouldn't have played that. Don't know that it'll matter, but I should not have played that. That was a mistake. Yeah, I guess we're just going to pass the turn here. Yeah, I should have played the Obero. Again, I don't know if it would have mattered, but I should have. And for what it's worth, this Hedron Crab may not end up existing anyways. Well, that's fine. I can't fetch, so this actually doesn't matter. But what I am going to do here is this is the time I'm going to go ahead and Surgical Path to Exile. That way, if my opponent does have it in their hand, they can't use it on our Hedron Crabs. So, we will preserve what few outs we have. Crypt Incursion doesn't work, though. We're not going to have 5 mana. So I'm not even sure what I'd be looking for here. Basically, I need my opponent to search their deck, and they're not doing it. Alright, their hand is 1 Resto Angel. We see that now. Alright, I'll allow this Tectonic Edge to happen. I was never going to be able to fetch with that anyways, so we at least get our Hedron Crab back to block here. Although, actually, we should just be dead, now that I think about it. My opponent, No, okay, wait, I still can. Okay. So my opponent has Restoration Angel in hand, so I can actually do this now on their other Restoration Angel so that we don't die. Because what was going to happen is they were going to Resto, Flicker the Flicker Wisp our Hedron Crab, attack us with Gideon and Resto for 8 and kill us. But by Surgicaling here, we get the other Resto out of their hand, and we actually prevent that from happening. This is all to buy me outs. I don't, this is all to buy me one more turn. I don't even know that I have outs, but we are giving it the good old college try, as they say. I mean, we need our opponent to search somehow on our turn. I mean, we're just not going to get there, though. I think it is realistically what's going on. Oh, the Gideon emblem. Well, you know what? I guess that works too. They had multiple ways to kill us. Okay, it doesn't matter. On to game 2. We've got the Damnations to get in here. We've got the Bridges for sure. I think I might want the Crypt Incursion. I kind of like the cut. I definitely can cut some Surgicals. Our opponent has no graveyard interaction going. And while I do like removing things from their deck, yeah, they probably have Leyline of Sanctity too. I need Set of Drifts. This game is going to be rough. That's for sure. This is going to be a tough one. So many of our cards just do nothing. This is going to be extraordinarily difficult now that I think this through, but I think this is what we have to do. Our opponent's going to have Leyline of Sanctity most likely. The Fatal Pushes I do like for buying us a little bit of time. The Inquisitions are fine. I mean, is Brutality better than Push? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what we want here. This does not seem like a good matchup. The thing is, the pushes are important, though, because our opponent could just have Thalias. And, we didn't see Thalias last time, but they could be in there. In fact, they I don't know. They might be. Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, attacks all the those things. So that's probably not ideal for us if they have it. So, we're hoping to it's tough when they don't search their deck for you. It makes Archive Trap a lot worse. So, excuse me, that's what we're going to have to deal with here. No mission briefing shenanigans, the freeway at least. But, like I said, that game was very close. And if we just had a little better mana, we could have just played Crypt Incursion and, gained 18 life or whatever. That's 2 turns. That could be enough to find the mill spells to win the game. All right, I'm definitely in for this hand. No way to make them search, but, double Archive Trap is, trust me, it could be a little dangerous here. But with the Mesmeric Orb and the mission briefing, it also means that if we were to draw a Field of Ruin or something, we could just be set. So it's a high risk, high reward hand here. Also, the nice part is we get to fetch out before we get destroyed by Leonin Arbiter. If they're playing that. Like I said, there's no telling exactly what their deck looks like. But let's go ahead and lead off with a Mesmeric Orb and see where things go from here. My opponent, of course, probably doing nothing with it this turn, but so I don't know if there's a difference between playing, you know, Orb and Glimpse there, but that's fine. Yep, there is the Leonin Arbiter, and to be honest, that really is a problem. Alright, we're down a Crab and a Sheldock, and obviously I drew a fetch land, so that's just the way that goes. So, although, you know, I could just Fatal Push this. In fact, I'm just going to play well here. I'm going to Fatal Push this thing now, then I'm just going to fetch, and I'm going to cast my Glimpse the Unthinkable. And I am going to go ahead and shock myself. Maybe that's a bad call, but with the mission briefing, the double blue in hand, I really want to make sure I have plenty of blue sources here, but I need to play Glimpse. So this is where we're at. I mean, if we can find, essentially we're looking for really, honestly, to be quite specific, I'm looking for Field of Ruin, so I can, okay, it has to destroy, oh my gosh, it's actually going to be so difficult because we have to hit a non-basic land of our opponents, which means Ghost Quarter, Tech Edge, etc. And now that I think that through, that might be pretty difficult. In fact, we're going to go ahead and get Ghost Quartered on out of the game right now. So, yeah, this one's going to be rough. We even had the removal for the first Leonin Arbiter, but the second one is killer. Well, I guess this is a plan. I'll glimpse him again. Yeah, I think maybe we just have no ways to make them shuffle. We need them to tap one of those lands for mana, which, to be fair, they're on 2 lands right now. They most certainly might do that. But that is realistically what we need to win the game. They tap a Ghost Quarter for mana so that we could then Field of Ruin it. But we have to find the Field of Ruin first. We're down to 13 here. I just want lands off the top of my deck. That's all I want. Or Fatal Pushes, actually. Fatal Push is pretty good. That said, how am I actually winning this game right now? Now, they've already land destructed us. I just got to kill this now. I just have to try to take as little damage as possible while hoping Mesmericorp gets there. And we just draw lands and I can mission briefing something. But yeah, this is a rough matchup. I think but if I point that at the Leonin Arbiter, you know, I just take so much damage, I'm just going to be dead before it ever matters. At least this way, taking 3. If our opponents light on creatures, you know, we might have a shot at least. Or they'll have a Gideon. Okay, well. I don't think I'm dead, which means I play mission briefing end of turn. Yeah, getting, you know, we missed land drops, but we also got LD'd, which is what their deck does. The Ghost Quarter following that Leonin Arbiter is pretty brutal. And obviously, you know, just even, again, we're in the same position where just even casting something like Crypt Incursion would just be devastating, but we're just not even going to get the opportunity. So, I mean, we can Surveil here, you know, try to find something. But even if we find land for Bridge, we're still going to have 2 cards in hand and get attacked by the Blade Splicer and the Arbiter and die. Really too bad. You know, I guess if I just hearted the... Well, then we're in the middle anyways. It just doesn't matter. There's just nothing we can do there. I mean, I hit my land even, but... And I can play my bridge, but I'm still going to die here. These silly archive traps. The thing is, even drawing Field of Ruin has to be a non-basic land. Their deck is just immune to us. It's crazy. We played against a deck Dredge that actually wants their deck milled, and we crushed them. They were playing against this deck that... And they don't really care if their deck is milled or not, whatever, but... They're apparently just immune to us, but there was not a lot we could do there. Ensnaring Bridge was definitely the right way to try to win, but alas, just a little too slow. I mean, heck, maybe I should just cut these and hid behind bridges. I don't know. Either way, everyone, that was great. This was a really fun deck. I think it's in a pretty solid spot in Modern. I mean, heck, Mill is 9-0 day 1 of GPs before. I've seen it happen, and that was before these upgrades, so it can be done. Mill in Modern. Always a lot of fun. I'm Corbin Hostler, everybody. This is Mining Modern. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the holidays. I'll see you next week. Hey everybody, here we go with the deck tech for Dimir Mill. So Mission Briefing has completely changed the way this deck works. You are now able to play a lot more interactive cards with Mission Briefing. It's just so good. Get a Surveil 2, then choose something in your graveyard, like an Archive Trap, and you can play it for the trap costs. So just having Mission Briefing in your deck makes all of your mill spells way more potent. It allows you to cut down on some of the extraneous mill cards and instead play this sort of control-ish blue-black mill deck. So it's pretty cool. So the mill cards we do have are Hedron Crab, of course, Landfall Mill 3, Mission Briefing, like I said. Glimpse the Unthinkable, get them for 10. As always, Archive Trap, get them for 13. MS Maricorp, which gets them for, an amount, usually, 4 or 5, whatever, every turn. So what this deck has going for it is it just has the best mill cards, right? None of the expensive clunky ones, just the really good ones. And it also has things like Surgical Extraction, which is kind of a milk card. You hit something in their graveyard, you take out all copies from their hand and their library, you get cards out of their library, which is the goal, while stripping their good cards away. Plus, hey, you can hit a Tron land or something like that. So then we've got more interaction, right? We've got Fatal Push, we've got a Murderous Cut, we've got the Inquisitions here. That's pretty good interaction with our opponent, and when we don't want to interact at all, Ensnaring Bridge keep him from attacking us. Throw in some Visions of Beyond to cycle for either 1 or draw you 3 cards, Ancestral Recall style. Pretty good right there. So that's the deck, everybody. Blue-Black Mill having a big resurgence online, it seems, with Mission Briefing and Guilds of Ravnica. So onto the sideboard here. Pretty much what you expect. We got some Graveyard Hate, more Hand Hate. We've got Removal, another Crypt Incursion. I didn't mention this in the main deck. This is how you gain a bunch of life against aggro decks, while also having, I guess, main deck graveyard interaction against those decks. But this is the cool one here. Set Adrift has Delve. Excuse me, not a card you see very much of. Certainly not at all, but it works in our specific deck because we want to put a target non-land permanent on top of its owner's library, like something that is shutting us down from doing what we want to do, specifically Leyline of Sanctity, which gives them hexproof. So we put that on top, we can then mill it away to get rid of that card entirely. That's what Set Adrift can do for us. So there you go, everybody. Mission Briefing Mill. This is a fun one. Thank you for watching.